Hey there. So you and we make promises all the time, right? I promise I'll call you. I promise I'll get that done. But have you ever stopped to wonder what makes one promise just, words, and another one legally binding, like rock solid? Well, there's a secret ingredient, a legal concept that changes everything. And today, we're going to find out exactly what it is.
So think about it for a second. When does a simple promise actually cross that line? When does it become something enforceable, something you could, in theory, take to court? What's the secret sauce that turns casual words into a binding contract? It's not just about being sincere or having good intentions. Nope, there's a very specific legal idea at work here, and it all comes down to one powerful word.
And there it is, consideration, this one word, this idea. It's the absolute foundation of contract law. Seriously, without consideration, a promise is pretty much just hot air, legally speaking. So, okay, we know the word now, but what does it actually mean? What does it look like in the real world? Let's break it down.
The most important word to focus on here is price. The law basically sees every binding promise as a kind of transaction. Someone is paying a price to buy that promise. And just so we're clear on the terms, the promisor is the person making the promise, and the promisee is the person getting it. So consideration is simply what the person getting the promise gives in return.
Okay, but here's where it gets really cool. That price we're talking about, it doesn't have to be money. In fact, a lot of the time, it isn't. The law recognizes two main ways this price can be paid. So let's take a look at what they are.
All right, so on one hand, you've got a benefit going to the person making the promise. Super simple. I promise to pay you $50, and in return, I get the benefit of you mowing my lawn. Easy. But on the other hand, you've got what's called a detriment to the person receiving the promise. This is all about what they give up. Think of it like this. An uncle promises his nephew $5,000 if he doesn't drink or smoke until he's 21. Now, the nephew has a legal right to do those things, but he's agreeing to give up that right. That act of giving something up is the price he pays for his uncle's promise. See? In both cases, something of value is changing hands.
So whether it's someone gaining a benefit or someone else giving up a right, the main idea is exactly the same. A promise that's legally binding is never, ever a one-way gift. It has to be a two-way street. It's got to be a bargain.
This right here, this phrase, says it all. If you're going to remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this: an exchange of promises. My promise is the reason you're making yours, and your promise is the reason I'm making mine. It's that back and forth, that mutual exchange that gives a contract its real teeth.
All right, so we've unpacked the big idea that turns a casual "I promise" into a serious legal commitment. Now let's just do a quick recap to make sure all these key points really stick.
Let's run it back. Number 1, for a promise to actually hold up, it needs consideration. Number 2, the easiest way to think about consideration is as the price being paid for that promise. 3, that price can be a benefit that the promisor gets. 4, where it can be a detriment, something the promisee gives up. And finally, the big one. No matter what it looks like, at its very heart, it is always, always an exchange.
So the next time you shake on a deal or make a really serious promise, just ask yourself, what's the price here? What's the exchange? Because, understanding this stuff doesn't just help you get contracts, it helps you understand the whole foundation of how we make commitments to each other. Something to think about, right?